right, so I worked in restaurants for many years, and it was a like trope of being a waiter that most people believe black people were bad tippers. And I'm not saying that that is true, but that is a commonly held belief in like waiting in like restaurants and shit like that. Why do you think that is the case?
Economics? I mean, that's what I would think. Like, I mean, it's like funny because like you know you're dealing with a group that has been like systemically marginalized, and then you're like, oh well, they're just not going to give their money away willingly. I mean, I find it interesting, like the concept of tipping interesting, because I'm like, why don't you just pay your fucking employees more? I do know when I used to go to Waffle House when like I lived in the South, and like you know you're quote unquote like you can tip or whatever, and I guess it's expected because it's a restaurant. Then I found out motherfuckers at Waffle House, and this was back in like 2004, were making like $12 an hour. And I'm not gonna hold you, like they deserve it because Waffle House is amazing. But like, why am I tipping you if you already make $12 an hour? Like, and I also feel like it's dumb to like why like as a wait like why is the consumer required to make up the difference in income for like food services? So for me, like I do tip, but like I know my parents taught me like you don't tip on the tax, so you subtract that number out, and then you can go, you know, up or down based on like the service that you received. But you know the standard is 15, so I always just do 15% of it, unless like the person goes like out of their way to like make the experience great. But for me, I mean, there's not. Usually if they go out of their way to make the experience great, it already started off fucked up, like something happened and then they're trying to make up for it. I'm like, oh, okay, I see that person trying to like compensate for the fucked up things with the, you know, with the restaurant itself. But then I usually don't go back to that restaurant. Like, oh, they had
the service sucks.
And it's not that it's like the server was cool, but like your restaurant has problems.
Yeah, okay.
So
fair enough.
But then I've also been told like too, like my parents were like, yeah, don't go nowhere that you can't afford to tip. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. You know.
Yeah, I mean, in like Europe, waiters are like paid like a living wage. You know what I mean? And you don't really like tip over there. So.
But some countries they do expect you to tip, which is weird. Like in France, like when I was in Paris, they expected me to tip, and it was strange because I then like Googled it real fast. I was like, do people? And they're like, yeah, you can or you cannot. It all depends. Like it all depends on like how you feel. Effectively, but people when they find out I was American, because the person I was traveling with like kept putting that shit on like Front Street, like, oh, we're American, yeah. I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up. And they're like, oh, well, where's the tip? And I'm like, yeah, in my pants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you experienced this in Korea, but I had a friend once, like the restaurant, the waiter like ran after them down the street to give them their tip back, and it's sort of like, wow, that's. Wow, I mean, I
know in China, like I've lived in China. I know that's a thing. Like paying more than like what you've been charged is like seen as an insult.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Well, part of it, I think, though, too, is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that the word? Maybe. Because I've had it before where I've gone as a group of black people. The waiter assumed we weren't going to tip, so they gave us poor service. So then they didn't get a good tip. So some of it is like, well, we were going to tip, but then you treated us like crap the entire night. So now I'm not going to give you a tip, but that like reaffirms this idea that you already have. So some of it is, if certain people have that mindset already, then they're always going to find, like a confirmation bias, they're always going to find it. If it's like, oh, I have this negative stereotype about black people, overall, I'm going to automatically assume black people aren't going to tip. We can feel that, and then no, we're not tipping, and then also we're not coming back to your restaurant.
Also, I mean, spoiler alert, restaurant industry attracts like not the best people in like a lot of ways. So there's, you know, a lot of people who just like are kind of shitty in general. So yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree that there are. I definitely think I've seen cases probably of waiters that I've worked with who have been involved in it, like where they like assume that a table's going to be a hassle or whatever, and so they are shittier. So yeah, I mean that makes sense.
And then the other thing that always confused me too about the tip, right? Like tipping in general. And maybe you can answer this. But like, if the food's good, right? Why the fuck am I tipping the person who brought me the food? Why am I not tipping the cook? Like, I feel like, okay, I would feel better, right? If I'm leaving my tip, like, damn, like, they'll be like, oh, how was everything? Yo, this shit was bomb. Like, this money doesn't need to go to you. All you did was go to the kitchen and bring it out. If this was the case, real live, like, I walk to the fucking kitchen window and grab my food myself. Like, I cannot burn myself on a plate.
Yeah.
Like, I came here because the food tastes good, not because of who brought me the food.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of why waiters get paid more in Europe, is because like you like are supposed to know more, and like you're supposed to be an expert, you know, like a person who like guides a person through the meal. So the job is like kind of a bigger deal. But yeah, in America, all you're doing is moving plates around and shit for the most part.
And again, I'm not coming for servers. I'm just saying, like, I guess the whole system to me, the ecosystem of the restaurant industry does not make sense.
Don't you share them?
Sorry?
I thought people shared tips.
In some places.
Oh, they pool at the end of the night and then everyone gets a
some
cut?
places do.
Does
some
the
places
cook
don't.
get some of that?
No, see, like ideally, the cook is making a decent wage. You know what I mean? Like they don't make the waiters by far make the least amount of money in the restaurant of like daily wages. Like
I would assume the bartenders make the most.
Yeah, I always like
in terms of
bartending.
daily wages.
Yeah, no, I mean I always like bartending more than I like waiting tables, because one thing is the difference between being a bartender and being a waiter is, as a bartender you can tell people no, you know, like you're cut off. You know what I mean? As a waiter, your entire job is to be like, yes, master, like whatever you want, I will bring it to you. So, yeah. Especially in like fine dining situations, which is like a lot of the restaurants that I worked at. It's like you are that person's bitch for like an hour and a half, but they'll pay you well. They will tip you usually. Like I waited on the guy. Do you remember there was a guy who was, I think, the governor of Alaska for a while in the early 2000s, who stole a bunch of money from the state? Does this sound familiar to you guys?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know anything about Alaska other than the Iditarod until Sarah Palin ran for president, and then I learned that Russia can be seen from the governor's mansion.
Yeah, I mean, I've been standing in front of that mansion, so I can confirm you cannot see it. But yeah, Alaska's not surprising. A lot of corruption up there, but they.
That is surprising. There's not a lot of people, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of people, so you can get away with a lot, and like there's the oil companies basically run the state. They pay everybody to shut up and let them do whatever they want to the land. And
the only people that suffer are the polar bears.
Yeah, and also like the indigenous people who are kind of like cut out from like.
I feel bad now that I forgot about the indigenous people.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But
I shouldn't say it out loud. But I remembered them in my mind.
Yeah, so I waited on this guy who stole a bunch of money from Save Alaska and got away with it, and he left me a huge tip.
So you are saying that you accepted stolen money?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm
like
complicit in his scheme now.
You were part of the laundering effort.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, if you live in the DC area long enough, like, you're gonna have touched blood money.
Yeah.
At some point.
Mm-hmm.